Hey everyone, we are the Gratitude Girls.
The Gratitude Girls are in the house. Hi, Lori. How are you?
Hi, Catherine.
Here we are, 8:30 as planned. Oh, okay. It's 8:30 somewhere. Well, let's introduce ourselves. We're very happy tonight, and we're happy that Facebook allowed us on. My name is Catherine Asaro Myers, affectionately known as Rara's in the house. I'm recording to you live tonight from beautiful Niagara-on-the-Lake, Ontario, Canada. And I'm here with my amazing Gratitude Girls partner, Lori. You want to introduce yourself?
Yep, I am Lori Del Gradecki, and I am in a tiny little town south of Nashville, Tennessee.
Once upon a time, I was from New York. I would have loved to be able to record this live from New York. Anyway, I'm happy that I'm here in Toronto, and it's beautiful. So we're an international call. Tonight, we're here to give you our Gratitude Girls free coaching and training session. It's the last month of the year. Some people are wrapping it up, and some people are already in action for 2023. No matter where you are, if you're planning ahead, you're ahead of the game. So it's a really important tip that we talk tonight about a few things that we can do right now. Some tips to maybe alleviate the stress during the holidays. If you're celebrating, if you already celebrated, there might be some additional stress or some things to do. So Lori, what are some of the things that you do besides planning ahead, which I think is an excellent idea?
Yes, definitely. Plan ahead, put it on your calendar. That's one thing I always do is put stuff on my calendar so that way I know, even personal stuff. So I don't forget and go, oops, I forgot to go to this person's event, or I forgot that this person was coming over. And then another thing is just say no. Learn to say no. It's okay, right? It's okay that you don't take on one more thing. Say no every once in a while.
Lori, in addition to that and saying no, I think it's really important to stick to the plan. If you say yes, that means that you're not sticking to the plan. So to be congruent, when you have a plan and you stick to it, you'd say no to anything that's not part of the plan, right? Otherwise, it's that shiny penny syndrome. Is that what we would call it?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Although you do still have to kind of a little be flexible. Like things might come up every once in a while. And so you do have to have and allow that little bit of flexibility because something urgent might come up or that you deem important, right?
Mm.
So you can be flexible enough to allow some change in there.
Right. Which means that don't jam on your schedule, right? Like don't make your schedule so tight that there's no room to breathe, to have that new, maybe it's date night, maybe it's a new client inviting you to dinner. So your schedule may not have dinner with a client or date night because it's Tuesday or it's Monday. But if your schedule if you have a plan and you know how to say no to things that don't fit in with your existing plan, you'll have room to do some other things. Let's talk about spending. So let's talk about planning our money. So we plan our time. All right, allow for some new things to come in. Don't be so rigid. Don't say yes to everything. Don't say no to everything. What about money? Do we watch it come in and watch it go out? Do we know what days we do things? Do we just randomly, haphazardly, every day go food shopping and every day go clothes shopping? Or do we decide when that is best? Maybe for the environment. When do we go and do we get in the car whenever we want, just drive haphazardly across town back and forth? I think if we plan our spending, we'll know where we're at, whatever system works for you.
Right. Yes, absolutely. And just, maybe shop less. I can't believe I said that, right?
Wait a minute, did my Gratitude Girls partner say that?
But yes, like, you don't always have to buy something for every single person, right? or especially buy something just because, and then the other person's probably gonna regift it or take it back or whatever, right? So choose your money wisely on what you're gonna spend it on, right? And decide that. And then, also make sure you stay healthy. When it gets cold, that's the big time that all the sicknesses can come and everything, right? So don't eat all the chocolates on the counter that you left for the guests that come by.
That's part of the plan too, right? Plan how you're going to manage your food. I like to, well, let's talk about having like a happy feeling and a happy setting. A surrounding that's calm and happy maybe won't trigger stress eating, right? If we're alone and bored and tired, we may eat out of boredom. But if we have a relaxing surrounding, there's a really good chance that we'll be able to relax. And when we're relaxed, we'll be able to just let the body heal and not keep it in any form of chaos. Not that eating is chaos, but around the holidays, I usually hear people say, I just had too much of this, or, I baked cookies and I ate them. So the relaxing surroundings it's useful at any time of year, but especially this time of year.
Right, yeah. And when you wake up, do some stretching, like your cat, right? The cat gets up and stretches in the morning. I watched this health thing, a YouTube thing about this guy that was doing stuff on a cadaver, but it was teaching us that all this, like, they call it fuzz, so you could YouTube that, the fuzz stuff, and it comes up overnight, and then each day that you don't stretch, it gets worse because it adds to it. So wake up in the morning, stretch, maybe even go outside and sweat a little bit. That's not my funnest thing, but but add things in, and add things in that will be fun. And like Catherine said, relaxing. It still can be relaxing to work out. It still can be relaxing to make those healthy habits.
And you know what I really like? I like to be able to talk about how I'm feeling. So I believe, and I think you agree, that sharing our feelings is healthy because we get to release and not hold in. Sometimes people hold things in for a long time. And like anything else, if you hold it in, it could develop fuzz or dust, or it could glitch. So when we share the feelings, we bring feelings in and we let them out. If we can do that, then we have a recipient, hopefully a partner, a friend who's listening, as we often do. I don't have a better friend, Lori, than you that I can talk to. Just be myself. When we get to share our feelings, I think it's amazing.
Right. Yes, I do too. I totally agree. And, and respect each other's differences. So even though Catherine and I are so much alike in so many ways, even though we might not even talk to each other, I mean, we talk almost daily, but if we go even a couple of days and then we don't talk and then we talk again, then we find out that we both ended up doing the same thing in 2 different countries. We even bought the same 2 kind of houses in 2 different countries that we didn't even know each other was doing. But respect people's differences, because that comes up, and it's okay if somebody doesn't think exactly like you do.
It's what makes the world go round. And this whole idea about be real or be realistic, take a bit of a reality check. Check in with yourself, check in with your feelings, check in with the surroundings, see where you're at, and have that talk to yourself. Share your feelings and see, am I being realistic about this? I recently spoke to someone who had this plan, and then they had another plan, and then they had another plan. And then the next thing you know, they're all over the plans. Is it realistic? If it's not, then maybe we're setting ourselves up for failure. As much as lofty goals are fantastic, if we're not looking at the reality, then we're probably not able to measure the growth.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And reasonable, realistic and reasonable expectations. Like, so for example, today I was painting trim in the house. My expectation was that I was going to get it done in 4 hours. Well, I kind of forgot because it's been a long time since I've painted trim that painting a wall you can do a whole room much faster than you do the trim, where you're being careful to not go on either side. So it took me a little bit longer to do what I expected, right? But think about it, and whatever it is, just be reasonable and realistic in those expectations.
I love that you talked about that, right? Because physically and spiritually and emotionally and psychologically, it's all easy to do. But then there's the application of the reality of it, right? You can only move your arm so many times in a minute in order to get something done. So it's a great example. Even though you could tape, you still need time to tape and then time to paint. And I know I've done trim. I understand what you mean. It takes 2 people to trim, one to tape, one to paint, one to pull the tape off, and then you go into the next room. I love painting. There are so many other things that we can talk about, but in lieu of time, maybe we can come back next week and we can continue this talk about ways to de-stress, and we'll find out how your trim is coming along. I also think it's a good idea to take a look at our health in our body and our mind and see how we feel today. And then tomorrow, make sure that we are honoring our body and our mind and respecting ourselves, so that way we can respect others.
Yes, absolutely. And so hope you enjoyed this time. Remember, we'll be back every Monday night, same time, same bat channel. And so tune in with us, add Gratitude Girls on Facebook to your notifications, so that way you catch us live. You can always come back and watch the replay as well. We'll talk to you next time.
Ciao. Have a good evening.